out and averaged their second most points per game in franchise history. But where they want things to change going into Saturday, the red zone. They finished tied for 27th in the NFL in red zone offense. Now, their star wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins told me multiple times this season that a play doesn't go by in the red zone where he's not double teamed. And remember, they've lost Will Fuller. They traded for Demaryius Thomas after that and lost him. So their complement to Hopkins down there in the passing game has been non-existent. That's where things in the red zone starting tomorrow will fall more on Deshaun Watson. They want the football in his hands, whether he's running the football, something that's evolved as this season's gone on and he's gotten healthier and they've been more open to the fact of him rushing the football, or if he's throwing it. They believe his instincts and his playmaking ability is what makes him special, but at the same time is a very delicate balance between that and protecting their franchise quarterback.
James Palmer, money as always. And speaking of money, Andrew Luck, when the opposing defense brings that heat, he stays cool. Versus the top 5 defenses, Andy boy, he thrives. However, when it comes to his career versus Houston, just 6-4. So, MJD, who has the edge? Colts offense or Texas defense?
It has to be this Colts offense. The last 2 times they played, Andrew Luck's thrown for 399 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the time before that, 471 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's not the top 5 scoring defense that I'm concerned about. It's a 28th ranked pass defense. Andrew Luck is going to run the ball. This offensive line has been doing a phenomenal job. And then you add Marlon Mack in there with the ability to use that play-action pass call. Woo! Houston, be careful.
Houston may have a problem. In the meantime, Nick Foles, a full-go in Eagles practice yesterday. This after being banged up in last week's outing versus the Redskins, where he suffered that pesky rib injury. Now, Doug Peterson, his head coach, said today that Foles looked good and is, quote, moving around well and is officially off the injury report. So here now, Tom Pelissero in Philly with the goods on jolly old St. Nick.
The Eagles removed quarterback Nick Foles from the injury report on Friday after he fully participated in practice for a second consecutive day. That means Foles is good to go for Sunday's wild card playoff game at Chicago. And Eagles coach Doug Peterson said Foles is moving like his normal self in spite of those bruised ribs that have bothered him for a couple of weeks. Sunday marks a homecoming of sorts for Eagles receiver Alshon Jeffrey, the former Bear who seems to have benefited from Foles' return to the lineup with over 300 receiving yards in the past 3 games.
It's an important football game, obviously. And your playmakers have to show up. And he's one of our offensive playmakers, and he understands that. He's really kind of come on the last month of the season, and when balls go his way, he's aggressive to the ball, and he understands that. Of course, he's excited, about going back to Chicago, and looking forward to that opportunity.
The Eagles' other quarterback, Carson Wentz, was on hand for practice Friday. Teammates say he's been helping out however he can, but Wentz's back injury will keep him out of action again on Sunday.
Tom P., good stuff. And we know that defense wins championships, and Khalil Mack and Fletcher Cox, they know that all too well. Both mainstays for their defenses. Mack and his 12.5 sacks, most by a Chicago Bear in his first season with the Monsters of the Midway. So Hall of Famer, take your pick, Fletcher Cox or Khalil Mack?
Come on, you got to love, I love Fletcher Cox, but I got to love what Khalil Mack is doing in the Windy City. This guy has 12.5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles in his first year with the Chicago Bears. Hicks, Goldman, those guys are all feeding. The back end is feeding. This team is leading the league in turnovers. So when you can do that, and hopefully on offense they can run the football, you can cause a lot of damage. It's going to be a fun game to watch in the Windy City, Colt.
Yeah, these days, Khalil Mack so shy that you thought he was bashful. Time now for some headlines from around the league. We'll start with Joey Porter, who spent 8 of his 13 seasons in the league with Pittsburgh, and he's been relieved of his duties as an outside linebacker coach. Mike Tomlin, in his official statement, saying, "I want to thank Joey for his coaching efforts over the past 5 years on our defensive staff. We wish him the best in his future coaching career." Now, despite being 9 games under 500 during his 5-year tenure in D.C., Jay Gruden expected to be back with the Redskins for 2019, as reported by Ian Rappaport on Sunday. Now, Gruden being informed of Daniel Snyder's decision on Friday. Washington, however, missing the postseason for the 3rd straight campaign. So let's keep that in mind as we turn to Ian Rappaport. You know him as Rap Sheet. Now, Ian, 8 coaching vacancies still looking to be filled. So what's the latest when it comes to those hot candidates?
Well, we'll start with the Green Bay Packers and one of their big-time interviews. Josh McDaniels interviewed today with Green Bay. They flew to Foxborough, members of the Green Bay brass, including Mark Murphy and general manager Brian Gutekunst. And there's a lot to like here, not just because of McDaniels' relationship with Gutekunst, which they built a couple years back, but of course his work with the quarterback position and what he could possibly do to kind of kickstart Aaron Rodgers' career. Speaking of Green Bay, they have also scheduled an interview with Adam Gase, the former Miami Dolphins coach. That is expected to happen on Sunday. And of course, Gase, similar to McDaniels, has done a lot of work at the quarterback position, specifically with Peyton Manning and guiding the NFL's best offense a couple years back. Gase, by the way, interviewed with the New York Jets, that the Rams quarterback coach. He has been busy as several teams want to take a look at some of the branches of the Sean McVay tree. Taylor interviewed with Denver. That was on Thursday. Had the Cincinnati Bengals today and has the Arizona Cardinals on Saturday.
Ian Rappaport with the very latest ahead of Wild Card Weekend. Rap Sheet, appreciated as always. Let's get you up to speed on some of the guys banged up ahead of Wild Card Weekend. Eddie Jackson, Michael Bennett, and Jason Peters all dealing with injuries ahead of Sunday's showdown. And T.Y. Hilton, don't ever question his questionable. We've seen what he's done the last few weeks, and the Chargers hoping that Austin Eckler will be all systems go to help boost that run game.